Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Rama Rama Hare Rama Krishna Krishna Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Rama Hare 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 Krishna Rama Hare Hare Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Krishna Hare Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Rama Rama Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Hare Vancha kalpatarubhyasya कृपा सिंधुभ्यः वचा पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय प्रेम से कहो जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय Hare Krishna, this is Shyama Supriya Devi Dasi from Houston, welcoming all the devotees to our Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call. I thank all the devotees for joining this chanting session and giving your very wonderful association this morning. And I sincerely ask for forgiveness for stopping your sincere and ecstatic chanting. Thank you to all the devotees. Now we will move to our next part of our session, that is our Srila Prabhupada's Lilamrta session. So before starting the session, can I know who are all joining this morning?
Hare Krishna, Supriya Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. This is Aditi Devi Dasi in Canada.
Hare Krishna, Aditi Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the sessions and giving your wonderful association. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Shyama Supriya Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. Jai Shri Prabhupada. This is Preeti Vilasini Devidasi from Atlanta. Thank you, Mataji, for your beautiful chanting and warm welcome. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Preeti Vilasini Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Thank you, Mataji, for joining the sessions and giving your wonderful association this morning. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Anybody on the call would like to introduce themselves?
हरे कृष्णा श्यामा सुप्रिया माता जी दंडवत प्रणाम शील प्रभुपाद की जय गुरु महाराज की जय दिस इज श्यामागौरी देवी दासी पुरुषार्थ
Hare Krishna, Shyamagauri Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the sessions and giving your wonderful associations. And we are eagerly waiting for your summary, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
प्लीज ब्लेस मी माता जी
Yes, Mataji, I'll pray to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj.
थैंक यू माता जी
Hare Krishna. I welcome all the devotees to our Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call of our Srila Prabhupada's Lilamrta sessions. And as part of these sessions, we have with us Her Grace Shyamagauri Mataji to give chapter summary of 56. Before handing over the call to Mataji, I would like to read quote for the day by Srila Prabhupada, December 23rd. Anukarana, Anusarana. There are two Sanskrit words. One is imitation and one is following the footprints. If one tries to follow the footprints of great personalities, that is very nice. But if we cannot imitate, imitation is dangerous. Los Angeles, December 23, 1968. Jai. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Shyamagauri Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the session and giving a very precious time and association and giving the chapter summary of Lilamrta 56. Mataji, I hand over the call to you. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्णा श्यामा सुप्रिया माता जी and हरे कृष्णा all the devotees please accept my humble obeisances all guru to Srila Prabhupada all guru to Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much for the opportunity, giving me the opportunity to give the chapter summary of Srila Prabhupada Lilamrta and please bless me that I should speak relevant to the topic and I should give the proper summary of Srila Prabhupada Lilamrta of chapter 56, Return to America. I will start with the invocation prayers. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्रीराधा कृष्ण पादां सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखामितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनि इति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे. So I offer my respectful obeisances to His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Also I offer my respectful obeisances to all the Guru Varya and all the assembled devotees. Please bless me. So I should speak. So I will be giving the summary of the chapter 56 of Srila Prabhupada Lilamrta, which is Return to America. So Srila Prabhupada had the stroke of paralysis, and then he got better and he came back to America. So I'm not good at technical things, so sorry about that.
No problem, Mataji. Do you need any help, Mataji?
No, I'm okay. Okay, so I think I touched the screen 2 times, so that's why it happened. So that was in December 14, 1967, when Srila Prabhupada came back to America. And as soon as the devotees, they gathered around to see Prabhupada, and they were so excited, and they were like, some devotees, they began to cry by seeing devotees, because they were not sure that they are going to see Prabhupada again. That's why they were so eager to see Srila Prabhupada. And then when Prabhupada left America, it was in New York, and he got the stroke of paralysis, and that's why he was gone back to India. And he said that if he wants to die, and the best place is like Vrindavan. And but soon the devotees got the letter that that Prabhupada is coming back to India, coming back to America, and they were so excited. And they all went to pick up Srila Prabhupada from the airport. Jayananda drove him back to the temple from the airport. And it was like a limousine. And it was decorated with the flowers. And then when Srila Prabhupada was going, there was a picture of Vishnu, like when he was getting inside the room, outside was the Vishnu picture. So Srila Prabhupada bowed down to the picture and went inside the room. So when he went inside the room, devotees gathered around him, and they were so excited. And they knew that they have to wash their feet of their spiritual master, and they immediately got the stuff, the plate and the water, and immediately in 1 minute they washed the Srila Prabhupada's feet. And Srila Prabhupada took out the kartals, and he started kirtan, and they were hearing the Prabhupada's kirtan, and they were chanting also. And after that, Prabhupada gave the little bit, means Prabhupada spoke a little bit about Krishna. And he was saying, Sri Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is the friend of everybody, and even a good friendship in this world is like a small indication of Krishna's friendship, because everything is coming from Krishna. If you feel good on a nice spring day, it is coming from Krishna. It's the smell aromatic flowers, it is coming from Krishna. Whatever is good in this world is coming from Krishna, and all the bad comes from forgetfulness of Krishna. Prabhupada spoke with a kind and gentle and humble attitude. And Devotees were so excited about what Prabhupada got. It's like father is coming home and getting some good things. They say, what is there for me? What is there for me? So Prabhupada got the gifts for everybody, and there were some saris for ladies. There was one cotton cloth, and inside that sari. So Prabhupada was calling everybody with their initiated names, some girl disciples, and he handed over the sari to one sari was like white and red and black design, and other was the single color with the red border, and some again Prabhupada got some saffron cloth, and there was three silken garlands for Jagannath, Baldev, and Subhadra. And Prabhupada said this can be tied around the necks of Jagannath, Baldev, and Subhadra. So previous to this, the deities did not get anything from dresses or decoration. Then Mukunda and Shyamasundara came forward. See, when Prabhupada coming from after some time, so they were excited to tell something to Prabhupada. So Mukunda and Shyamasundara, they came forward to show Prabhupada the first America-made kartals. So Prabhupada gave the instruction before to them that you should make kartals in America. So Prabhupada took that American-made kartals and played like 10 like that he played, and then he took out his own kartal which was from India, and he said, this is great, and that American made kartal not so great. So he was not so happy about the kartas which were made in America. Then he started looking around the room and talking to everybody, and one disciple named Lilamrta was sitting in the corner, and she had a baby. Her name was Subhadra, and Srila Prabhupada said, your daughter looks like just like Subhadra. Lilamrta was so happy, and Prabhupada said to Govinda Dasi that I am always thinking of your paintings. So then Prabhupada asked them whether all the devotees were chanting their rounds. Everybody's chanting 16 rounds or not. And everybody said, yes, Swamiji. And then one girl in the corner, she was like, she said, I chant. And her face became red, and she said, oh, I chant sometimes more than 16 rounds, Swamiji. But, she was like about to cry, and everybody started laughing. It was for nothing. I don't know why she became red. So then the devotee said, we have some prasadam for you, Swamiji. Would you like to take now? And Prabhupada said, what? Is that rice? And everybody started laughing because they made such a big feast. And Prabhupada had one more thing to show to them, that was the coconut grater, which was they use in Bengali cooking, and that coconut grater Srila Prabhupada handed over to Yamuna, and who began to grate the coconut while everybody, all the devotees were watching. And they didn't have anything else. They were so much focused on Srila Prabhupada, so everybody was around Srila Prabhupada. So when Jamuna was grating the coconut, everybody was watching. And after that, they all went to the kitchen and they made the coconut laddus, like with coconut pulp, butter, sugar, black pepper, cardamom, and camphor. And Prabhupada rolled the balls and ate one and distributed to everybody. Then Prabhupada returned to his room, where he sat down again and he was silent, sensing that he should be left alone. And the devotees excused him and they went outside, and Prabhupada took some rest. So Jivananda was speaking like, after everybody left, he went inside just to give the company to Srila Prabhupada. And then Prabhupada thought he has some questions. So he said, "Oh, do you have questions?" Then he said, "Yes, Swamiji, I would like to get married to Harshirani." And he said, "Oh, who are you?" Means Prabhupada did not like that question. So he said, "Who are you?" And he said, "I am Jeevananda." "Oh, you have been initiated?" "Yes." And he said, "By whom? By me?" I say, "Yes, Swamiji." And that then he said, "That was very nice. What do you do?" And he said, when I was in Santa Fe, I used to milk the cows." And that is very nice, Srila Prabhupada said. And then again he asked, "Swamiji, can I get married?" And Prabhupada said, "I will think about it. And you can ask me later." Then Chidananda said that evening he went to in Srila Prabhupada's room, and he felt he might be lonely, so he just wanted to give him company. And as soon as he got there, Prabhupada started talking about Krishna. So there were some Brajavasi posters on the wall, and he would point to them and explain a little bit, saying that he is Krishna and Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. And so he talked about the posters on the wall, and we got the feeling that we have known. When Prabhupada was talking and talking, that Chidananda got the feeling that Prabhupada and he are like, very best friends, and they know each other from long time. But Prabhupada just now came, but still he had a feeling that Prabhupada knew him. He knew Prabhupada, and Prabhupada knew him from long time. So later, Prabhupada had a little small band with devotees and in San Francisco. So not many, like 15 devotees, but they were getting so much attached to Srila Prabhupada, even though they were not allowed to go to Srila Prabhupada. Only Gaura Sundara and Govinda Dasi and his servant Upendra, they were only allowed to be with Srila Prabhupada and near Srila Prabhupada. But devotees just wanted to serve Srila Prabhupada in person. So, some devotee asked question, "Swamiji, that I feel envy, towards the devotee. When some devotee gets some advancement, I feel envy." So Srila Prabhupada said, no one, everyone is envious. And Lord Brahma down and Indra down to the insignificant earth is sometimes envious. So everybody is sometimes envious, and no one wants to tolerate the other person's advancement or another person's taking an exalted position. So it is fact that if we find a person excelling in a field or serving the spiritual master, then that person is very fortunate by Krishna's arrangement. But in spiritual world, there is no envy over such a thing. Rather, in spiritual world, everyone is pleased and excited to see that one person is more advanced in advanced than us. They are enthusiastic and happy because of seeing such a kind of devotee. But in material world, there is always competition. And that because of that competitive nature, there is envy. And if Prabhupada allowed someone to serve him, they would accept it as the arrangement of Krishna. That's what the disciples learn. So, and everybody gets the company of Srila Prabhupada and in the morning walk. So every day, Srila Prabhupada used to go to walk and yeah. So Srila Prabhupada used to go to walk and devotees, they used to drive Srila Prabhupada from their temple to the park, because Prabhupada cannot walk that much, so they used to go like that. And and there was one day there was always a car is there park, and one man was used to be there. So the devotees used to see that person every day. But one day what happened, Srila Prabhupada left everyone and went to that person and said, "Good morning." And that person became so happy, and usually that used to be very unhappy. So these disciples of Srila Prabhupada, they realized that Swamiji has the power that to make everyone's happy. So one day everybody got to the park, but Lilamrta was having difficulty to get down from the car because of her baby daughter Subhadra. And looking at her, Srila Prabhupada said, burden of affection. And she said, "Yes, Swamiji." And so looking at her, she was carrying the baby. So looking at her, Srila Prabhupada says, so there are two ways to carry baby. One is monkey way and one is the cat way. Do you know that? And she said, "No, Swamiji." So, well, which way is better, you think? The monkey way or the cat way? So she still did not understand what Prabhupada wanted to say. And then Prabhupada said, monkey baby climbs on the monkey baby catches the mother, and the cat baby doesn't have to do anything, just say meow, and the mother cat carries the baby. So now Lilamrta could understand that what is Srila Prabhupada meant. So, well, Prabhupada said the monkey baby is very small and very weak, and he is holding on to the mother by his own strength. But the kitten is being supported by the strength of the mother. So, which way is better? And then she understood and she said, the cat way is better. Yes, Prabhupada said that is the difference between the yogi and the devotee. The yogi is trying to climb on the back of the absolute truth by his own strength, but he is very weak, and so he will fall. But the devotee, he cries out for Krishna, and when he says the cries of when he cries out for Krishna, Krishna picks him up. So when Prabhupada was saying that cries of for Krishna, he was looking at the sky. So that's how we should cry for Krishna. So next day, Prabhupada was saying, Upendra asked Swamiji, what does the spiritual master or the pure devotee see as he walks through the park? That was the question. And Srila Prabhupada said, he sees Krishna. he thinks that so he said he didn't understand. He was saying that, okay, if there is a wall, and on the wall, if he sees on the wall, where exactly he sees Krishna? Does he see it in the corner, or in the middle, or in the where he sees Krishna actually? And Prabhupada said, it's not like that. Krishna is everywhere. And the pure devotee sees Krishna everywhere. So how he says, like, do you see my glasses? He say, yes, Swamiji. And so whose glasses are these? That they are your glasses. So do you see my shoes? And say, yes. Whose shoes are these? These are your Swamiji. So what do you think when you see my shoes? Say we think of you. What do you think when you see my glasses? We think about you, Swamiji. And Prabhupada says, similarly, a pure devotee sees Krishna like that. Everything is Krishna. This is how he sees Krishna everywhere. If he sees in the sky, he sees Krishna's sky. He sees trees, this is Krishna's trees. Like that, whatever he sees, each and everything is for it is coming from Krishna. So okay, so one day what happened, while walking to that park, there was a garbage can was there, and there was one rat got stuck in that garbage can. And Prabhupada looked inside and said, he is doomed. And from that statement alone, the devotees, they could understand that our position is just like that rat which is got stuck inside the trash can. The picture is supposed to be stuck inside in the trash can, but just to see, I put that picture, like, the rat is on the trash can. So the rat is stuck inside this trash can. So same way we are stuck inside the material world. Prabhupada said that the garbage man will come and kill the rat. So same way Yamraj will come and kill us. But Swamiji came to rescue us from the clutches of Yamaraj. Okay. Yeah, so in the evening, Srila Prabhupada does the kirtan, and all the devotees, they were dancing, and looking at them, Prabhupada was so happy. He said, you have all advanced, even the new devotees are dancing enthusiastically, and that was so pleasing to Srila Prabhupada. And every night Srila Prabhupada used to do kirtan, and after the kirtan he used to give class on Bhagavad Gita. And he said, I am making series of the lectures on Bhagavad Gita, Krishna Conscious Yoga System. And Prabhupada wrote to Brahmananda in mid of December 1967, and they are tape recorded. So Prabhupada taught the okay, yeah, Prabhupada taught that some new tunes to his disciples, and he was talking about, like, some Indian gurus, they are like introducing the self-styled technique, like, increasing popular, and that is becoming so popular in USA. Srila Prabhupada said, I thought the US people are like, so intelligent, but how they are getting trapped in between these gurus who are coming from India, and all their disciples are engaged in doing wrong things, and they are giving the mantra, and they are taking money for that, and in the meditation they are like, sleeping and snoring, so like that. And Srila Prabhupada also taught them, like, to service begins by tongue. So what is the service of tongue? The service of tongue is chanting the Hare Krishna, and by the taste of Krishna Prasadam. In the beginning process is very nice. If prasad is offered to you, accept it. If you come submissive and give service, by these two practices, Krishna will reveal himself to you, just like Krishna is revealing himself to Arjuna, and Arjuna is a devotee, he is a friend. So I am speaking to you that old system, which exactly same what Krishna told to Arjuna. So that way, only who has developed the service spirit with love and devotion, he can understand Krishna. After the lecture, Prabhupada would continue the theme of the Krishna consciousness in his room also. So what happens when Prabhupada goes, gives class in the temple, and he goes in the room, and there also devotees follow him, and he continues that theme to in his room also. So Prabhupada, somebody asked the question, like, how the soul takes the another body, and Prabhupada said, by desire. By desire, I have come here to America. Why? Because I want to preach. So only by the desire I came. Otherwise, I have no business to come here. Just like soul carries the aroma soul carries the aroma in the legs. The next body, it gets next body. Okay, Chidananda said that there would be 3, 4, 5 devotees in his room, and he would just start talking. They would somehow gather in his room and would start talking about he was trying to do what are the plans, and he was directed specifically to one-on-one, but he was saying that this is what he wants to do. He made everything clear to everybody about the book, publishing the books, and the free lunch prasadam, and his concern kept everything going. And before Srila Prabhupada came to America, that the things were not moving so fast, but when Prabhupada arrived, everything was moving so fast. So in Prabhupada, somebody asked, how can I see Krishna? And Prabhupada said, don't try to see Krishna, but act in such a way that he will come and see you. Suradas was a blind man, and he cannot even see, but Krishna came, and he was simply chanting sincerely, Krishna, Krishna, oh Krishna, Krishna, and Krishna came to see him. So Krishna is there whether we see him or not see. We all must do that we should become sincere, and he will present for us, and Krishna may hug. See, Krishna may hug the cow. What cow has done? Nothing, and what cow knows nothing. But Krishna wants to hug. Oh, my dear cow, come, I shall take care of you. Like that he says. So we have to be humble and we have to be submissive and always serving to Krishna. Then Krishna may come and see us. So that time, there was not many books were published, and there were not many sources available. Now we have so much YouTube and everything, but that time no source. But Srila Prabhupada was the only source for them for the philosophical knowledge and everything. So everybody gathered around to Srila Prabhupada all the time. And Srila Prabhupada wanted to give initiation also. So there was Kim's Kim was like 18-year-old, and Kim's sister was 16. 16. So whenever class is over, Srila Prabhupada said, are there any questions? And she would ask questions. And one day, Kim's sister asked, are there any offenses in spiritual world, Srila Prabhupada? And Srila Prabhupada was so happy seeing that question. He looked at everybody and said, see, this little girl, she wants to go back to Godhead. And Srila Prabhupada told her, Krishna may kiss you. And when she said that, Kim's sister blushed and everybody laughed. So Upendra said, Swamiji, how should we feel humble? So how should we feel humble? Srila Prabhupada said, when you feel like you cannot do something, and that is humility. When we think, oh, I should have done in this way, I shouldn't have done this, and this is not good and this is good, like that, when we say there is a waste, there is some always a room for improvement. If you go on thinking that, oh, I did not perform this duty so nicely, I should have done this way, then you will improve. Our love for Krishna keeps growing as long as we think that we are not going the most for Krishna. And when I say, oh, I have done so wonderful job, I am such a wonderful devotee, and I am nice, and I am sincere devotee, then this is not humility. There is no chance for improvement. Somebody was questioning about the Mayavadi. Prabhupada would become very angry at Mayavadi. He was adamantly against the mission of Mayavada because they actually they deny the absolute reality of Krishna, and they have greatly damaged the Vedic culture. Prabhupada, afterwards, Upendra chastised Malti, saying that she shouldn't have brought up it because Prabhupada still recuperating in his health. This topic is not so good. So in his excitement, his blood pressure will go high, and here so my Malti became silent, but later gives Srila Prabhupada told Upendra, you shouldn't have said this to Malati, and you should ask apology from her. Sometimes, somebody like Uddhava was not asking question. So one time Kim told him that you should ask questions. So he said, one time he asked, Swamiji, what is the Radharani's relationship with Krishna's brother Balram? And Prabhupada got so annoyed. He said, why are you asking questions like that? You don't even understand the basic principles of Bhagavad Gita. You don't understand the nature of the soul and super soul or Krishna and devotional service, and yet you are asking questions like this. For a long time, Buddha did not even ask any question after that. So there was Kim encouraged actually his sister to take initiation. Kim also took initiation. So Kim's sister asked Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, can I take initiation from you? And Srila Prabhupada asked, are you following the four reality principles? And she, yes, Swamiji. And I just wanted to say something else. She continued, she heard that you had taken birth because your last life you've been a physician and had killed a snake for some medical purpose. And Prabhupada laughed. Oh, your brother told this to you? And she said, yes, Swamiji. So no more was said about it. Kim was given the name Krishna Dasa, and Kim's sister, who was 16, she also got initiation, and there was an initiation ceremony. Now Prabhupada's health was not so good, but Prabhupada said he was fit to serve devotees, and he certainly looked and acted wonderfully, but he was still feeling effect of the stroke he was having like 6 months ago. There was a president ringing sound bell in his room, and he couldn't sleep more than 3 hours, and he was always pushing, and he was he was translating, he was always pushing himself, and he was expecting his disciple also to do so, because he was not able to do much. Okay, so Prabhupada was living in Brahmachari ashram, and Brahmacharis were so so curious what Prabhupada does in his room. So they were always looking, and so he was translating his Srimad Bhagavatam. He was and every day he used to wake up early and get fresh, taking shower, and then used to put tilak using his small mirror, and he used to chant his Gayatri. And somebody asked, Upendra asked that Prabhupada, some devotees, they put tilak in the bathroom, and Prabhupada said no, tilak should be put on in front of Krishna like this. Well, Upendra said, here I have seen them putting in the bathroom. Prabhupada finally said, don't worry too much about the rules and regulations, just get everyone chant Hare Krishna. And also one thing, one pastime here I did not mention, that is Prabhupada used to light the sticks of tulips, and he asked him, Upendra, to get them to brush his teeth. So Govinda Dasi one time, and Govinda Dasi got some sleepers for Srila Prabhupada, and they were so soft and fluffy and furry, lining on that. And whenever he would walk around the house, he can hear his shuffling sound, and he would have his hands behind him. Okay, and Prabhupada wanted to have the regular prasadam for him, dal, rice, chapati, and sabji. But other devotees, they wanted to cook from Srila Prabhupada. So one day Yamuna came in the kitchen and said, I want to cook for Prabhupada. And she cooked, made the elaborate feast for Prabhupada. And Prabhupada asked, who has made this prasadam? And then Upendra said, Yamuna Devi cooked this Swamiji. Oh, I do not like these fancy things. I want to eat simple dal, rice, and sabji, that's it. And he wasn't very happy with this big feast because he hated well. Sometimes he used to take khichdi and curry sauce and eggplant, fried eggplant in there. So that Upendra is always used to cook for Srila Prabhupada, but still Srila Prabhupada had complained for Upendra that Upendra is using too much ghee so that I cannot taste the prasadam before it slips down my throat and it is too slippery. So one of the devotees who have been with Prabhupada in India wrote that Swamiji should not take on sweets. Prabhupada didn't even think about that and didn't even. But he introduced coconut laddu, and Upendra also tried to make laddus for Srila Prabhupada. So sometimes Srila Prabhupada, see, there is a very much risk serving your spiritual master in a personal way. There is a chance your spiritual master might get displeased. And one day, Govinda Dasi was cooking in the kitchen, and Srila Prabhupada said, "What are you cooking?" And say, I am making cereal, Swamiji. Oh, but today is Ekadashi, Srila Prabhupada said. Oh, thank you, Swamiji. I didn't know that. And after that, she didn't feel that she has done something wrong, but Srila Prabhupada started criticizing her that you should not cook grains on Ekadashi day. And Srila Prabhupada criticized her so much that Govinda Dasi finally felt that it was as bad as if she has actually eaten grains, and so she fasted entire for that day. And one day Upendra was like, putting the salt in front of rice. And Prabhupada was so angry. He said, I told you to put salt in back of the rice, not in front. And now give me no salt. Like that, Prabhupada said. But Upendra, finally, what he did, he got two separate containers of like salt and pepper and put in Srila Prabhupada. So Srila Prabhupada was happy with that. And when the mistake was corrected, Srila Prabhupada immediately, forget that was the Indra. Okay. So one day, Srila Prabhupada went to see B.K. Nehru, and B.K. Nehru was the Braja Kumar Nehru. he was the ambassador for an ambassador of India in America. So he was born and brought up in Prayag, and he was. That's why he knew Srila Prabhupada from there, because Srila Prabhupada had the pharmacy in Prayag, and that's why they knew. So Mukunda went with Srila Prabhupada, and Mukunda, this B.K. Nehru was wearing the western clothes, and even the Mukunda was wearing western clothes, and Mukunda was so mentioning that he and Srila Prabhupada went on sat on the same seat, and there was a conversation was going on between Srila Prabhupada and Mr. Nehru. And Mr. Nehru, they spoke some in English, and rest of the things they were speaking in Hindi. So Mukunda could not understand. But actually, the B.K. Nehru was appreciating Srila Prabhupada by converting all the American people, young men with in the Indian Krishna consciousness, with Indian culture. And Mr. Nehru's wife was also there. With their in their conversation, and Srila Prabhupada presenting like as a he is a sannyasi, but when he was having the pharmacy, that time he was not having he did not have sannyasa. So after that, how the thing goes, he mentioned, and but Mukunda could not understand. But finally Srila Prabhupada told him that there was a conversation for they were talking about the land in India, which is Vrindavana. But finally, the conversation had got some positive things. Mr. Nehru's wife, she finally gave some something in plastic, no, in the aluminum wrap, and he gave it to Prabhupada and said, Swamiji, this is for you. And she gave it to Prabhupada. Yeah. And there, one time there was an earthquake, and everybody was sitting in the Prabhupada's room, and along with this small group of devotees, and Prabhupada, everybody was so quiet until Prabhupada said, what is this? And it is an earthquake, Swamiji. Oh, and Prabhupada started chanting. We can just sit down and chant Hare Krishna. And Prabhupada mentioned the bombing of Calcutta during the war, and there was, like, he was in the bomb shelter and bombs were falling, and he was thinking, he was chanting Hare Krishna. And if I have to die now, it would be wonderful to die while chanting Hare Krishna. So that's why everybody sat down and just chanted Hare Krishna. And then Prabhupada first returned from India, he had criticized Mukunda for failing to obtain the permanent residence. Yeah, so he was Prabhupada's visa was not so permanent, and he was saying, why did you do this? You do not understand that I need visa. So finally, they went to the post office to get visa for Srila Prabhupada. So wherever Srila Prabhupada goes, Srila Prabhupada starts preaching, and there was a lady who was working for the visa for Srila Prabhupada, and Srila Prabhupada was preaching to her about the Krishna consciousness. And she said, it must be very difficult for you to follow all the discipline, Swamiji. But Prabhupada said, no, it is not. It is just a question of remembering God. So he gave the example that how the woman, you are a woman and you come to the work. You come for the work, and woman, you don't forget to dress up nicely. So same way, we don't forget God. So that's how easy the Krishna consciousness is. And the woman immigration officer immediately understood what Srila Prabhupada meant. And during the during the conversation, the earthquake matter came up, and she said our building is earthquake proof. And after all, Prabhupada said, believing that there is no such thing as earthquake proof. So one time, Lilavati was saying that he called Srila Prabhupada called her in his room, and he was sitting in when Srila Prabhupada was saying, so how are you liking the Krishna consciousness? And Lilavati was so happy. She said, oh Swamiji, my life had changed completely. And yeah, he bowed his head, said, thank you very much for taking up for the Krishna consciousness. And he was very pleased. Then he continued to conversation with Mukunda. He asked, so Mukunda, you have cast on so many pairs of kartas. From the one I have brought, but I do not see any of the devotees with them playing. So Lilavati said, because he is charging money. So Srila Prabhupada said, is charging money is bad? No. Whatever you use in Krishna's service is always good. Even though it's money, you should always use in Krishna's service. Money is not that bad. Taking money is not bad, but that money we should use in Krishna's service. So Lilavati's main occupation was like her daughter, Subhadra, and she would treasure different incidents in which Prabhupada showed attention to her daughter. Sometimes he used to play with her, and he said she is very fortunate, and he gave the example from Bhagavad Gita that some yogis who do not go home back to Godhead take birth in the family of the Brahmana or a devotee, and they come back here. So like that Prabhupada said. And yeah. So there are few more pastimes. I am actually done with the presentation now. And there are few more pastimes if you would like to listen to some pastimes. Like when one time Krishna Dasa was got the chance to shave Prabhupada's head, and he actually cut the Srila Prabhupada's and the blood was coming, and then Upendra came and chastised Krishna Dasa that you actually cut Srila Prabhupada, and Srila Prabhupada did not even realize, and he put his hand on his head, and oh, So Krishnadasa was so nervous and he said, "Oh, sorry, Swamiji." He begged forgiveness and he said, it's okay, but you are just a young man and youngs don't have these steady hands like that." And Krishnadasa also, so there are so many pastimes about Upendra also. Upendra instructions were often in response to Upendra's mistake. So when Srila Prabhupada is always giving instruction through his class or within the devotees and while talking to Upendra, because Upendra was his personal servant and is always a thing in Indian culture that mother-in-law doesn't directly talk to daughter-in-law. She talks to her daughter, and then daughter-in-law understands. So same way, instead of talking to everybody like that, Srila Prabhupada always used to say to Upendra that you have done this mistake and you have done this thing. So one time Upendra was has to carry Srila Prabhupada Srimad Bhagavatam, his eyeglasses and his kartals. And when he was going, some devotees came and they were talking to him. And Srila Prabhupada went ahead and he stayed back because of the devotee talking to devotee. And Prabhu said, whenever and later Upendra has to run and get the things to Srila Prabhupada before he goes to enter into his room. And Srila Prabhupada said, whenever you do anything, do it nicely. Do not irresponsible. So like that he was chastising. One time Upendra was looking for Prabhupada within apartment and he went to in Govinda Dasi's room. And Upendra, Prabhupada saw that and he said, Upendra, you are a brahmachari. You should not go in Govinda Dasi or any other girl's room when they are alone in their room. So that's not good for the brahmachari. And Govinda Dasi had to go to doctor. Upendra, although having no experience, whimsically volunteered to take dictation of Srila Prabhupada. Actually, that was the Govinda Dasi's job. And he took the dictation from Prabhupada and he wrote something and after writing, he did not even couldn't even read his own handwriting. And Prabhupada said, why do you do things like that? You cannot read your own handwriting. Upendra attempted to read but could not, and Prabhupada had filled in whole letter again while Upendra wrote in the words that he had missed or could not read. So, like that, pleasing Srila Prabhupada, it was so difficult for them. One of Upendra's regulated duty was to crush the sugar candy in Prabhupada's medicine. So one time, he crushed the sugar candy in the water and he was putting in the other glass and he actually splashed it and it all went on his face and on his hands and everywhere. So Prabhupada did not say anything, only say, go wash. And he said, no, Swamiji, let me finish making my medicine for you. And because he wanted to do service, but Srila Prabhupada did not say anything. And while making service, it took time. And because of that, all the sugar, water, and it became crystal on his face and on his head and everywhere. And that's what. But Srila Prabhupada could see only the in his eagerness to serve in him. So that way, Prabhupada was happy. And one more pastime, it's a very funny pastime. There was apartment, and in that near apartment there was a dog, and the dog used to always bark at Srila Prabhupada, and Srila Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada did not say anything and did not do. But what he used to do, he used to, raise his hands and make a scary face at the dog, and it was just like a young boy. He used to do like that. So thank you very much. I would stop here, and thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to glorify Srila Prabhupada, and please pray for me and please bless me. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Vanchakalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubheva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaः. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Her Grace Shyamagauri Mataji ki jai.
Hey.
Very, very sweet Mataji. Lot of pastimes. You are telling, and we are continuously listening and listening. It should not be stopped, Mataji. Lot of pastimes. Thank you so much, Mataji. All the pastimes from starting, like monkey catching the baby and cat catching the baby, and how our life is like a trash bin with mouse in it, and how Srila Prabhupada gave the importance of doing Ekadashi. We should not eat grains on that day, and how he chastised. That is also nice, Mataji. And cooking. Srila Prabhupada just doesn't like any fancy food, just simple prasad, and with not that much ghee also. Yeah, so many pastimes, Mataji. Very, very nice, Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji. And it is very sweet to hear from you, Mataji. Thank you so much. And if possible, come on, call Mataji and give your realizations like this, Mataji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Dear devotees, anybody would like to share their realizations for Mataji's summary?
Krishna Shyamagauri Mataji. As Supriya Mataji said, it was very, very sweet to hear from you, Mataji. Please give your classes more often. We'll open up opportunities, and please come on the call. It was very, very nice to hear about how Srila Prabhupada was interacting with the different devotees according to their nature and giving specific instructions. Like especially the interactions with Lilamrta Mataji, I thought was quite interesting. Thank you so much, Mataji, for this very valuable association of yours and being there on the call and giving this beautiful class. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji, for the opportunity, and thank you for encouraging me. I am so grateful to all of you. Thank you so much.
So we have one message.
Please accept my humble obeisances. Wonderful class, Mataji. It was so nice to hear you. And normally I miss this session, every day because of my work. But today I just jumped. Christmas, we have a holiday. So I said, let's listen to Shyamagauri Mataji. Wonderful class, Mataji. Wonderful pastime, the way you summarized and touched every point. How to cook prasadam, how the devotees should be humble. How Srila Prabhupada always guided, his devotees, and then what the position of the yogis and the devotees, it was brilliant. Nectarine class, Mataji. I look forward to your association in the future again. Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances. Dandavat Pranam.
Mataji, Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances. Thank you so much for your encouraging words, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Shyamagauri Mataji. Yeah, please go ahead, Indu Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Shyamagauri Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. What a wonderful presentation, Mataji. Really loved how concisely you have explained everything in the slides, and you also gave elaborated upon each and every subject matter, that was covered in the chapter so beautifully. It's like we can see what you're trying to say, what you're saying right in front of our eyes. Wonderful. Very nice summary, Mataji. And you covered the whole chapter and in such a short time. So wonderful, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for your association, for all your services, and for coming and doing Lilamrta here today, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji, for your encouraging words, Mataji. Thank you for the opportunity. Krishna.
Yeah, Shyamagauri Mataji, I want to share one realization after reading Lilamrta. Before that, Mataji, I don't know how to keep tilak, means what is a proper way to keep tilak. Like here in this pastime, you're telling how we have to keep in front of deities only, in front of Krishna, how Srila Prabhupada is telling. So before that, I don't know how to keep. But after first time reading Lilamrta, I have got to learn this is a procedure to keep the tilak. Then from that day onwards, I was following that same procedure, Mataji. Yeah, this realization
Very
I want to
nice,
share.
Mataji. Very nice.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji.
Yeah. And one more thing I wanted to mention here, that Srila Prabhupada was saying, like, I am here for you. And he was trying to tell devotees what he wants from them, and like that. But it is very hard to understand the heart of a spiritual master. Same way, like, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami was saying that I am hardly can understand the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, see, who wrote the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami himself is saying that it's very hard to understand the meaning of the pastimes, what Lord Chaitanya has done. So same way what Prabhupada is doing the pastimes, it's very hard to understand the teachings, what he is giving from that to us. That's really, difficult for his disciple to understand, but they are trying to understand and they have done very nicely. Thank you.
Jai, very nice, Mataji. Very nice. So, Mataji, I see there are a couple of comments in the chat, Mataji. I think Lalitangi Mataji messaged and Shivani Mataji too for a beautiful class.
Thank you, Lalitangi Mataji. Thank you, Shivani Mataji. Actually, Lalitangi Mataji helped me with the some pictures and some presentation. Thank you so much.
Mataji, I didn't help anything, Mataji. I couldn't even pick up your call. But very, very nice, Mataji. Wonderful summary. I was on and off, but whatever I listened, it was very wonderful and such a great presentation, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. All your blessings. Please
Mataji.
Mataji, your guidance and your blessing. Thank you so much.
Oh, Mataji, I'm nobody to bless, but you're blessed by Jagannath and Srila Prabhupada. Otherwise, it's hard to tell with such clarity Prabhupada's pastimes, and so nice, touching the heart, Mataji, when you said that. So all glories to you. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Dear devotees, if there are no more realizations, then with Shyamagauri Mataji's permission and all the devotees' permission, then we can end the call. So, Mataji, shall we end, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji, please.
Okay, Mataji. So, once again, thank you so much, Mataji, for coming on the call and giving this very sweet summary, Mataji. So with this, I would like to pay my obeisances to you and all the devotees on the call. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Prabhupada Lilamrta ki jai. Har Grace Shyamagauri Mata ji ki jai. Jai. Thank you so much, Mata ji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Gauranga, Nityananda.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Should I take on?
Yeah, and the call.